Half in the bag.
The power of penny compels you!
Looks like I got this in good shape. Can't close it, but, I'm still...
Oh, hey, Mike.
Oh, hey.
New chairs?
Yes, they are different chairs.
So, not the old chairs?
No. They are new chairs.
Will things be the same or different?
Things will be the same.
So just new chairs?
Yes. We will be sitting in new chairs. You and I will be the same. Our movie review discussions will be the same.
Just with new chairs?
Yes, new chairs.
Okay. New Ghostbusters?
Nope. Hello and welcome to Half in the Bag. I'm Mike.
And I'm Jay.
And we just got back from seeing the
new
Ghostbusters movie.
Oh, hey, new chairs. Those are nice.
Hey, it's that rich guy.
Yeah.
Shit, I thought he was dead.
Hey, didn't you died?
Almost. You see, I was floating on that giant bouncy castle way up high in the sky, and there I was, riddled with bullets. My body was slowly bleeding to death, and I was about to breathe my last breath when suddenly...
Whatever he says, it's gonna be really stupid.
My floating bouncy castle bumped into a UFO.
What he said was really stupid.
That's just terrible writing.
Yeah.
Terrible writing.
And the aliens took me aboard their ship. They patched up all of my wounds. They even made me immortal. They showed me a cool new way to drink beer, something with sparklers. It wasn't for me.
Oh, shut up. Did you say that you were made immortal?
Yeah, I'm basically impervious to all harm now, especially bullets.
Jay, how do you kill an immortal?
I don't know, do you think he's a vampire?
Well, he's certainly pale enough to be one. But he's just not sexy at all.
Oh God, no.
I can hear every word you're saying.
They have super hearing vampires.
Holy shit.
I've reassessed my thoughts on this.
Well, if we can't kill him, maybe we can make him want to die. Hey Rich, do you want to talk endlessly about the new Ghostbusters? It's finally arrived. The most politically divisive film of the year. A fucking Ghostbusters remake. Guess that's where we're at. Mike, what did you think of Ghostbusters 2016?
Well, you guys are gonna hate me again, but I loved it. No, I'm just fucking with you. It was the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Well, that's a bit hyperbolic.
Mike, it's not a piece of shit. It's a giant fucking pile of garbage.
Oh.
I would say it was better than the first Pixels.
What do we think of these Ghostbusters? Are they to be taken seriously?
It is a remake, almost beat for beat.
Paul Feig did not want a third one. He did not want it to exist in the universe. He could very easily have made this a soft reboot.
Yeah.
You know, Bill Murray's doing his thing. You know, whoever's doing
the
their
characters
things.
from the original movies are still around.
Oh, you guys want our old equipment? It's in storage. It's all dusty, you know.
It wouldn't make any difference.
Here's this existing property, and yet at the same time, now we can make it our own. And Katie Dippold and I were allowed to then create a new origin story for it and find the new seeds of where the various iconic things like the Ecto-1 and the proton packs and the logo and all that come from. That was really fun.
Do you think if this movie went into production after The Force Awakens came out and was a huge success, they would have approached it differently? Because that's one where it has those same characters from the original. It's sort of a passing of the baton thing, and that was, went over pretty well with people. I'm wondering if this movie just came out if they went into production a little bit later, if they would have maybe gone that route because it was so successful with Force Awakens.
Yes, to answer your question, yes. The Force Awakens was masterfully done in soft rebooting a series and respecting the fans.
Yes.
You know, everyone could say man babies, you know, basement dwellers, children, whatever you want to call them, but people are big fans of stuff, and J.J. Abrams and the crew behind making that movie knew not to fuck with the fans and don't make a big pile of shit.
Yeah, or call the fans assholes and dickheads when they call you out on disrespecting the property.
J.J. Abrams didn't have a vision of Star Wars that was fucking terrible.
Aside from Leslie Jones, the other three actresses in the movie I think have done quality work in the past. Paul Feig has done quality work in the past. And this feels like Pixels. It feels like generic comedy made by no-name director with actors just doing whatever they want.
But we laugh a lot, and I'm sort of the worst perpetrator of ruining takes, because they'll be in the middle of something and I'll burst out laughing and just ruin everything. So they always move me further and further away from the set.
They're supposed to be scientists, and yet when they're doing something scientific, they're making goofy observations or like eating Pringles and saying stupid things. And the biggest shock to me was that the most consistent performance in the movie was Leslie Jones. Mm-hmm. She felt like a real person when she wasn't screaming. Which was the worst stuff in the trailer is her. And I was like, oh, fuck. But in the movie, she's the best one.
She's the most likable.
Yeah, she feels like a real person most of the time.
This is why it doesn't matter if you pass the torch or not. It doesn't matter what the continuity is with the old Ghostbusters. These characters don't work together.
And very quickly said, okay, these people have four very distinct comedic voices, and I think these will all mesh together. And then when we brought them together, the chemistry was just insanely good.
Well, and ultimately, we don't do a lot of just straight up comedies on Half in the Bag because there's only so many ways you can say it just wasn't funny. But this movie, it just wasn't funny.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, did you want to?
Sorry, I'll let you.
Next time.
They tried?
No, they pointed a camera and Paul Feig said, improvise. And then they cobbled scenes together.
There's a lot of just bad jokes.
Let me stop you there, Rich. There are not jokes. I mean, fun. It's very like surface level funny. It's very like, okay, you know, isn't it fun? I was thinking of a scene, and it's Melissa McCarthy walking around, and somebody's at the door, and it's the ghost trying to get in, right?
Yeah.
And she's like, ow, no, they're constantly talking. And I was thinking of that scene when they drop off Louis Tully at the Ghostbusters thing, at the Ghostbusters firehouse, right? And it would be like cutting to Egon walking up to the door. Oh, are you bringing my pizza? Oh, hurry up. Last time you brought my pizza, you put too much anchovies on it and made me gassy. Oh, it's the police.
Yeah.
We don't need Egon to say anything.
Where it's like they feel like they need to constantly be attempting to say something funny.
Yeah, and that would be, okay, Melissa, walk up to the door, but say something funny while you walk up to the door,
Yeah.
Melissa. Ow, my feet hurt. I gotta get new shoes. Oh, my bunions. oh, that's funny. Everyone on set's laughing. Let's leave it in.
Yeah.
Dropping off or picking up?
Dropping off.
Just a moment.
Dropping off or picking up. Funny.
That's funny.
It's routine. They bring crazies to the Ghostbusters house. We got it. We don't need them to make jokes about farting or poop. And there's
Which are both in the first 5 minutes of this movie.
There's so much poop and fart jokes in the first 5 minutes, and it's like we are not writing comedy lines. We are not writing good jokes. We are not even staging the humor. That line, dropping off or picking up, is funnier than 15 minutes of talking about pooping and farting. All of that, and it's that like
But
understanding.
they weren't talking about farting, they're talking about queefing.
That's true.
And there's a big anatomical difference.
See, when it was just farts, it wasn't funny. But then they said it came out the front, and that's when you start laughing. There were scenes that Paul Feig pointed a camera at them and said, say stuff. The worst example of that was Kate McKinnon. I think she's a good performer. And here it's like she's just unleashed. Paul Feig said, do whatever you want. So there's no character. She's just weird and mugs a lot. She's doing her best Fire Marshal Bill impression. But you mentioned when you're talking about the beats of the original movie and how this one repeats it, and you mentioned there's the part in the movie where they get popular and well known. That doesn't really happen in this movie.
No.
They go to a rock concert, and then there's no escalation of them catching more ghosts anywhere else. They just do that, and then they're in the mayor's office.
Did they skip?
And he's like, you guys got to stop being so well known. It's like they made one appearance, one place.
You have to show that.
You got to show these things.
You need them being on Larry King Live talking about Elvis.
Speaking of Larry King Live, we have here in front of us a bottle of Crystal Head vodka produced by Dan Aykroyd.
It's the best thing Dan Aykroyd's produced in 20 years.
Disclosure, we were not paid to endorse this product by Dan Aykroyd.
Unlike all the products in the new Ghostbusters movie.
We will be ordering Papa John's pizza later.
Bust him, Papa. Are you crazy? He's my best customer.
Eating Pringles.
And eating Pringles. Now, it says this Crystal Head, ooh, it's very nice. Apparently it's very, very high quality vodka, according to Dan Aykroyd.
Okay, very good. Well, this is you like this. This is clean vodka. This has no glycol. A lot of lesser vodkas have antifreeze glycol in them. They put them in there for smoothness.
He was on Larry King Live, hawking his vodka. Him and Larry had a shot.
Very nice.
And I think it almost killed Larry King.
Oh boy, start of the ruination.
But we're going to sample this now, and we're going to drink to
Harold Ramis.
Harold Ramis. Rest in peace, Harold Ramis.
That is a smooth vodka.
That is a good vodka.
Very nice.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what we should do? We should mix the Dan Aykroyd vodka with the Ghostbusters Ecto Cooler.
Ooh, all right. Now, Think Tank, what's the name of the drink? Has someone done this already?
I'm sure somebody has to have thought of this, right? If not, we're coining it.
The Slimer?
The Slimer?
That's pretty simple.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we cannot find the cans, so we have these tiny.
The Ghost Bender.
That's pretty good.
1 shot's worth of Dan Aykroyd's Crystal Skull vodka.
And I guess 1 container of Ecto Cooler. And for those of you in China, you probably will not feel the urge to drink heavily after Ghostbusters because you probably aren't going to be able to see it.
Yes, your communist government thinks the movie's witchcraft. Imagine this was the amount of shit in the original Ghostbusters. The new Ghostbusters, imagine a Twinkie 15 miles long, weighing 35,000 tons.
That's a big flop.
Was there anything you liked about the film? Let's start with the silver lining here over our thunder cloud.
I liked kind of like the first Iron Man movie where there was a lot more of the evolution of their tech than in the original movie.
I think I would agree with you there. I think that was the only stuff I liked.
It was kind of dull, though. I've never been so bored watching people develop ghost hunting equipment.
But Sony put out a phony story where there were actual scientists involved in the science of Ghostbusters. Can we talk about Sony and how
now they're the worst?
I think I'm starting to hate them. Between this and the Spider-Man movie and Pixels and
all those Adam Sandler movies,
the fucking product placement and
they're desperate for a hit. Rich and I were talking about this before the movie. The only division of Sony that is successful right now at all is their video game stuff, is the PlayStation, and everything else they're just like scrambling. Like they wanted to make a cinematic universe out of The Amazing Spider-Man. They want to make a cinematic universe out of fucking Ghostbusters. And everything they try just comes across as desperate.
The most pathetic thing was at the post-credit scene. And spoilers, if you are very excited about watching the post-credit scene, total rip-off of the Marvel stuff.
Yes.
The post-credit, and they introduce Zool.
Even though this is a completely new universe disconnected from the first one, I remember Zool.
We're desperate.
That was Gozer. Zool was just one of the dogs, even.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, the whole Gozer, that whole plot, it was unimportant. Yeah.
But well, they got that wrong, and the very first thing they got in the movie wrong was the EVP. It doesn't stand for electro voice phenomenon. It stands for electronic. Never once have I heard anyone on the planet Earth say electro.
Well, you would be the expert in this. You know what? You know what they set up early on in this that I thought they would pay off, kind of related, is they're watching on TV. There's like a Ghost Bros type show, like what is that? Ghost Adventures
Ghost
with Zach Baggins. But they show on a TV screen. There's one of those type of shows, and Kristen Wiig is like, these give paranormal investigators a bad name. I thought maybe they would bring that in later, and that would be an element of it. Like they're constantly dueling with these Ghost Bro guys. And it's like, oh, that would have been kind of fun to have like phonies and then the real scientists.
Having the Ghost Bro guys show up and get their asses kicked.
Yeah, but then the problem is that the real scientists don't act like real scientists.
No,
they see a ghost and they're eating Pringles and making jokes and acting like idiots.
Oh, what?
They act like characters on a Nickelodeon children's science program that are wacky. We're the wacky scientists. It reminds me of like the stereotypical scientist guy in a lab coat with the crazy white hair and the big glasses with the tape in the middle.
Well, that's Kate McKinnon.
That was Kate McKinnon's performance as a scientist. Fucking Harold Ramis as Egon Spangler. I don't mean to keep going back to the fucking first movie.
It's fair because it's a Ghostbusters movie.
Holy shit, we're off the rails.
Again, we are not being sponsored.
We are not sponsored by Dan Aykroyd in any way.
But we really like this vodka, Mr. Aykroyd. It is very good.
It is good.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Bill Murray is in it briefly. He looks like he could not give a fuck. And he acts opposite Kristen Wiig, who also looks like she could not give a fuck. Bill Murray comes in the room and immediately sits in a chair for the rest of his scene. And I'm just thinking, like, that's all he wanted to do. That's the only way they got him to set.
I thought initially the first cameo we see by Bill Murray, he's on a TV program. And I thought that was it.
I thought that was going to be it too.
I thought that was going to be I thought that was like a green screen in his living room. They just wheeled it in.
Bill Murray plays a guy who wears a weird hat and has a cane, who's the debunker of paranormal stuff. He's essentially the Walter Peck character who just comes around and says, "What are you doing? I don't like you." Except for the Walter Peck character had major consequences.
He had a purpose in the story.
And he was
right.
He was right.
He was right to want to investigate this completely, unmonitored scientific equipment.
He was just doing his job working for the EPA. So, Bill Murray is that guy. He's that guy, but he doesn't have enough scenes to complete that character.
No.
He just shows up at their Ghostbusters headquarters is above a Chinese restaurant. Bill Murray shows up, he's like, "Why are you pretending to catch ghosts? I gotta sit down." Why are you pretending to catch
He does
ghosts?
not try to even say anything funny. He could not care less. I did like in that scene, they're backstage at the concert, they're looking around for the ghosts, and there's mannequins, and then the mannequins start to move, and Leslie Jones reacts to it as if she's scared, and she's the only one in the movie to do so, to ever act like these things are spectacular or amazing or scary.
Leslie Jones stole the movie.
Leslie Jones stole the movie, which is the most shocking thing, because she was the worst part of the trailer.
Right.
She's screaming, and the stuff that's in the trailer that sucks also sucks in the movie.
You think the editor of the trailer had some kind of beef with Sony? I mean, there's really no other explanation for it.
Yeah.
Quickly I saw the dislike numbers were going up very fast, and it was this thing, and you go like, look, plenty of people I'm sure didn't like it, and I completely get that.
Ow, that's gonna leave a mark. The power of panic compels you. Ow!
Can we talk about how this film started? It's so bad. It starts off with Gabe from The Office.
Yes.
And Gabe is giving a tour of a haunted mansion. And the scene is approximately 40 minutes long. And he's walking around and he's basically setting up this long story about how a ghost lady who stabbed people in the 1800s was locked in a basement.
It's a really elaborate backstory.
It's a very elaborate backstory which has no purpose whatsoever.
But you also in the original you started subtle. It was books flying around behind somebody.
Yeah, you don't even see the ghost in that scene. You see her yell into the camera.
Yeah, and in this one, it's like the floor is exploding and chairs are flying and stopping in midair and they're landing in the walls. And, oh my God! No build up to the ghost activity.
And again, I keep trying to look at this as its own movie without comparing it to the original, and that still fails as a scene, even separate from the original movie because of that, because there's no build-up. It's just slime's bubbling up from the ground, the stairs are collapsing, and there's no tension because we don't know who this guy is or what's happening.
The bad guy of this movie, who by the way is a thinly veiled Ghostbusters fan. He's a thinly veiled fanboy.
Yeah, I guess.
And it shows you how much this movie absolutely hates its core audience.
Yeah, you could see it after the fact, like after the trailer comes out and gets all these like horrible negative comments, but while they were making the movie, they weren't aware of that. So it's weird to have such a, this sort of undercurrent of...
I think they just anticipated it.
They just expected it. Everyone's gonna hate us, so fuck them.
I do want to talk about how we talk about like the bad guy with his ghost devices.
Yes.
This is just me. One of the things I like about the Ghostbusters, and I touched on this when we did the review, it's science kind of conquering superstition. It puts science up at a pedestal in a way. Here, science is the villain. Nerds are the villain. Science and nerds. It's the Ghostbusters reboot. I think any comparisons to the original are completely fair.
Yeah, well, I think we, as we mentioned earlier, Star Wars got it right. Some people don't like it, but as far as bringing in new elements, but still, keeping the elements that will ease people in from the original, like that's how you do it. If you have to milk these franchises, which they do, that's how you do it.
I will kick the unliving crap out of you, and you, especially you. Hey! Don't move!
You got a,
No, I'm tired.
No, listen.
I'm just gonna go ahead and take off. How about that?
I don't really think that's a good idea.
No, going to take off. Don't piss off the ghost. Really?
You have a Ghostbusters, it's a thing. The original 1984 Ghostbusters. You have your bad guys, you have your ghosts, you have your characters and things they say, and they took it and they made like a negative out of it. Like a film negative, where it inverted everything.
All the way, yeah, the genders.
Except for there weren't 3 black ladies and a white lady. but you know what I mean.
We can't go that far.
It inverted the genders and it inverted, except for Janine wasn't a bumbling, brain-dead moron.
That is something I wanted to bring up.
She was a sassy, smart lady who didn't take shit.
Quit better jobs than this. Ghostbusters, what do you want?
Well, what about this one? That's one of my favorites.
I think you might have made a mistake. I don't think that one's for us.
Oh, no, that's for you. No, I just thought the floating hot dog implies that a ghost is holding it.
Your work is more cerebral than I expected.
See some more?
And Winston
Zeddemore was not a sassy, back-talking black guy.
That knows the streets.
That knows the streets.
He was not a stereotype. The fact that Winston was black was incidental.
Yeah. This whole movie is like, right now we have a new Star Wars series going on that's got, different genders, different races, all working together. It's not made a big deal of. The Fast and the Furious movies, different genders, different races, all working together, not made a big deal of. This movie, they seem to be really pushing that angle, the women power thing. And because they flip it in the most simplistic and dumb way, it comes across as really reductive and stupid.
Oh, hell no, the devil is a liar! Get out of my friend, Ghost! The power of pain compels you! Ow!
They didn't take the Leslie Jones character to the nth degree like I thought they would.
Not based on the trailer, it was like, oh no.
Yes.
But then she turns out to be the most grounded, relatable character in the film. But also related to that.
I don't know why she quit her job just to randomly join the Ghostbusters, though.
Because they needed to have that beat from the original movie.
Bad screenplay.
But related to
Did you hear that ghostly voice?
Oh my God.
Let's listen to see if we caught an electro voice phenomenon.
Oh my God, that's racist.
I can't believe they said that. That's amazing. There are spirits among us.
Well, what I keep saying is, if you want to have people rally behind something and people are really getting behind this, some people are really getting behind this as some sort of, feminist thing. Why this this is like a corporate product that exists to sell Twinkies.
We gotta put a lesbian feminist twist on this. That's another thing. Kate McKinnon's character.
She's a lesbian in real life, Kate McKinnon.
Sure, but she's officially supposed to be a lesbian Ghostbuster because she makes several passes at Kristen Wiig in the film. Paul Feig said, I want Kate McKinnon to be a lesbian Ghostbuster, and Sony said, no.
Why does Sony sound just like George Takei?
No. Oh, yeah.
It's smooth. It's not bad.
That's a good vodka. That's
Yeah.
a good vodka.
People are totally going to think we're sponsored by this.
No. Full disclosure, we are not, I repeat, not endorsed by this product.
Well, Dan Aykroyd has a financial investment in this new Ghostbusters, and we're ripping it apart. So
That's
I
true.
think we're safe.
That's proof enough that we are not.
80 proof.
Oh, snap.
Hey guys, check it out.
Kevin, come inside.
I was born to be a Ghostbuster, all right?
Oh, man. That's so not good.
But then the bad guy ghost, he possesses
Chris Hemsworth, yeah.
And then
Rich. I just need to stop you. You consistently always say Chris Hemsworth. It's Hemsworth.
It's Hemsworth. I'm sorry.
You should apologize.
I'm sorry, Chris Hemsworth.
Apologize to the guy named Chris Hemsworth who constantly thinks you're talking about him. Why is Rich Evans talking about me?
Does he have mental problems? Is that why he's so confused about it?
He just drank a whole bunch of Dan Aykroyd. Why does Rich Evans keep talking about me on that internet program?
But in the film, there's a very awkward scene where possessed Chris Hemsworth.
Thank you.
He's by the building with the ghost machine, and the army comes to stop him. And then, I guess he's just one ghost, but he possesses the entire army himself.
He has the power to do anything.
And then he makes them do this. And you're waiting for the dance number to start out once all of the army and the police force are just in this pose like this, and it never happens. And it's so weird that everyone just stops to do this.
And they're frozen like that for the rest of the scene, which got the one laugh out of me in the whole movie, is all the army is frozen like this, and then the Ghostbusters show up, and they're walking through this crowd of frozen army guys like this, and Leslie Jones goes, "Why are they all like this?" And that made me laugh.
Oh, well, that was just some mundane line of dialogue.
I know, and it made me laugh because it was a mundane line of dialogue, and it made me think of the original movie.
But I chuckled one time in the film, and it was when Chris Hemsworth said, "Can I bring my cat to work?" And then,
which led to some really awkward improv.
Yeah, and then it was. Is
that what made you laugh? That whole improv scene?
That whole exchange.
Where he has a dog, but the dog's name is Mike Hat.
My cat.
So they thought he was talking about my cat, but he meant my dog, whose name is Mike Hat.
That was so bad, it was straight out of Space Cop.
There's multiple levels. There's multiple levels because it's not just Mike Hat. Because at first he says my cat. Yeah. Right. And then he's bringing a cat. No, it's a dog. Oh, it's a dog named My Cat. Then he says no. The dog's name is Mike. Mike Hat.
That's where you can see the wheels spinning from behind the camera and Paul Feig yelling, "No, say this now."
But then they tied it up with a nice comedy bow when they said, no, the cat's at my mom's house.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, sold. I don't know if that was Chris Hemsworth's brilliant ad. No, fuck you.
And suddenly he's just started improvising jokes, and the ladies looked at me like, "Did you write that for him?" I was like, "He's off book. He's going for it." And who knew that he could be that funny? I knew he'd be funny, but I didn't think he could be hilarious.
And it was so disconnected from everything else in the film.
Well, that's how you know when the improv is happening, is when the characters stop acting like the characters as written. Like Kristen Wiig, she's like a wet blanket through this whole movie, but then there'll be a couple of exchanges between her and Melissa McCarthy where you're like, okay, they're just riffing off of each other, and it feels completely out of character from what the character is supposed to be. Or it just feels like everybody doing whatever they want. We'll cobble something together in editing, and then that's it.
It's just because you hate women.
Well, of course. There never felt like a threat in this movie.
There isn't.
What are you talking about? The entire city of New York is under attack, Rich.
The entire threat, the villain, is just an excuse to shit on nerds, mouth-breathing nerds that are the people who normally consume your product. What does it say that they're fighting the Ghostbusters logo at the end? Why does this movie actually hate the Ghostbusters so much that the main villain has to be?
A lot of people are pointing out specifically the moment at the end where they shoot it in the dick as like some declarative thing, anti-men thing, but more so than that, it is the fact that they are fighting the Ghostbusters logo.
But when was Ghostbusters like a testosterone-driven male thing? We're not talking
it never was.
That's what's weird, is that this turns into an action movie at the end, when that's never what Ghostbusters was about.
No, it was about them like I don't know what we're gonna do. Just making it up as they go along and using some kind of science at the end to figure it out.
If you wanted to take a macho, manly man movie and flip it, Ghostbusters is not the franchise to do that with.
You take a Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Top Gun.
Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yes. Yeah.
Not a movie about a bunch of schlubby exterminators that are losers.
Right. Ghostbusters doesn't end with them being awesome action stars.
It ends with Egon being terrified beyond the capacity for rational thoughts.
Exactly. Bill Murray doesn't care. Egon doesn't know what to do. No one knows what's going on.
Ray fucks up.
They're not like...
It just popped in there.
They're not like doing ninja flips and whipping ghosts around with their proton packs.
Probably because this movie has no idea what it's doing.
Well, that's the thing. That's the big question. If the big push is girls should feel empowered by watching this movie. If you don't like this movie, you don't like females in movies as leads and all the nonsense that comes with all that. But what is the ultimate point? Like, what are they trying to say? Do you know what I mean?
The point is they're trying to sell Papa John's pizzas.
Bust him, Papa. Are you crazy? He's my best customer.
I think the point is that women can be the leads of shitty comedies too.
But they have been already.
We can have the female equivalent of an Adam Sandler movie.
Female protagonist, male protagonist, I don't care, as long as the movie's funny. I've watched many a film, especially science fiction films, with a female protagonist. Alien. 1979. Terminator, Sarah Connor, Captain Catherine Janeway, who's now in Orange is the New Black.
She's great on that show.
Kill fucking Bill.
The Bride is fucking awesome.
Yes, she is. If I want to break the first one down, the grounding, the actual framework is starting and growing a business. Is very much what it's about. Yeah. This one, is there even a scene where they have the brilliant idea to start a business, or is it just, I mean, is there something I'm forgetting? They just kind of get kicked out of the college and it's like, oh well, I guess we're Ghostbusters now.
For whatever reasons, Ray, call it fate, call it luck, call it karma. I believe that everything happens for a reason. I believe that we were destined to get thrown out of this dump. For what purpose? To go into business for ourselves.
There's not that scene where here's the idea, here's our fate. It's just...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car.
You didn't disclose that the vehicle was going to be a hearse.
I'm sorry, my uncle owns a funeral home, not an Enterprise rent-a-car.
You checked to see there wasn't a body in the back.
I don't really know.
You didn't check?
I mean, I was in a hurry. I checked to see if you had gas. That was more important.
So there is a body?
Let Hostman check. She likes that type of stuff.
Yeah, I can think of 7 good uses of a cadaver today.
No, Dr. Frankenstein. We got to turn in the body if there's one in there.
Well, this is the thing we have to do now because this is a Ghostbusters movie and we need to start.
They don't seem to have any sort of goal. Like in the original movie, they have a goal and it's different for the different characters. Like with Egon, it's very much about the science and expanding on, the science. For Bill Murray, it's about making a bunch of money because he's a scam artist. In this movie,
sleeping with women.
Or sleeping, getting a chance to meet women through his company. In this movie, what is their goal? To catch ghosts because it's called Ghostbusters.
I like ghosts and I like ghosts.
Okay, to be fair, Kristen Wiig wants redemption, or she wants her reputation. She wants to be proved right. She was trying to become a tenured professor, and that her ghost past.
That seems to fall to the wayside immediately,
it does,
though.
But she loses that, and she wants to show them that
there's an
she was
establishment
right.
early in the movie that her and Melissa McCarthy have had kind of a falling out. And so you think like, oh, that's going to be the movie, is them sort of learning to work together again or mend their friendship. That happens in the first 10 minutes, and then it's completely ignored until the last 10 minutes when they bring it back.
And she goes to
in a stupid scene, yeah.
Because women have emotions. Where's the business growing? Where's we're not getting any calls? Oh, we're starting to run out of the cash. Oh, this might fail.
This is the last of the petty cash fund.
The last of the petty cash.
They use it in this movie to buy Papa John's.
PapaJohns.com.
They did focus more on like, we're building the Kate McKinnon character is like, I'm working on this, but every time her character was on screen, I just wanted to kill myself because she was so cliched as the brilliant scientist.
She's wacky and weird.
Wacky scientist. Egon Spengler, and once they get the firehouse and money from selling Ray's parents' house, or from taking out a third mortgage on it, all of a sudden they have proton packs, and they don't show how they build them or anything. They just have them. I'm okay with that.
But if you're going to approach a remake or reboot, whatever, from a different angle, the tech is a good angle to take. And they do a little bit of that in this movie.
not when you don't believe that the characters can make the tech.
Oh, sure. I'm just saying, like, if that's what they were going for, that's a good angle to take.
Sure.
They just failed at it.
Yeah. It's sort of like this, like, cruddy, junky, steampunky tech.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I could kind of believe it, but it has this unbelievable, fantastical element.
His head was in the clouds. He was so focused on his science that he couldn't deal with people like people.
Yeah.
That's why you believe that Egon could build a proton pack.
Well, don't forget, they slapped in the scene at the very end of the film where Kate McKinnon attempts to give a heartfelt toast, and it's very awkward.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was horrible.
That should have come. Wait, I hear an EVP, an electro voice phenomenon. It should have come at the beginning of the film. Oh. Did y'all hear that ghostly voice?
You know what's funny? They couldn't catch one fucking ghost. They're the Ghostbusters, and they don't manage to successfully hold on to one fucking ghost in the entire film.
Well, they hold on to
It escapes!
Yeah, the dragon ghost escapes.
No! Kristen Wiig lets it out.
Well, sure.
To prove to Bill Murray that she's not a fucking fraud, because that's
Yeah, she had to prove that she was a fucking idiot.
All women are idiots. I mean, she wanted to prove that she was not a fraud to Bill Murray because that was her character arc. She's a soon-to-be tenured professor in physics.
She had to prove that to a man who did not want to be there.
Yeah.
Or a man who she could care less about.
Yeah.
Friends.
Oh, no.
Friends. Here's what should have happened. Put Bill Murray in a different role. Have Charles Dance come in place of the Bill Murray character.
A character that's been established earlier in the film that comes back and then gets his comeuppance for screwing over Kristen Wiig.
Kristen Wiig, I'm here to tell you that officially we are firing you from your position. You took a leave of absence, but we are firing you because of your kooky beliefs in ghosts. Fuck you, Charles Dance. Boom. Ghost boom out the window.
Yeah.
Bam. Comeuppance.
Although technically that would
Set
make our
up,
character a killer.
Set up, pay
Kristen
off.
Wiig would be like a killer in
It
that
would be
scene.
maybe it was an accident. Oh,
Nah.
I fell on the
She thought
thing.
it was just going to spook him and then it pushed him out the window.
Or
Whatever. Point being, you.
Or he says, there's no ghost in that trap. Hey, Kristen Wiig, you're crazy. You know, there's no ghost in that trap. You're a fraud. No, Charles Dance, don't hit it. Don't hit it. Don't
Yeah.
boom.
Yeah, have him do it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Wait. I think there's an electronic voice.
Electro
voice phenomenon coming on. Do you guys hear it? Let's listen to the audio tape.
Screenwriting 101. Also, get out.
What an odd product placement to Pringles. I guess they needed it. No one's thought of Pringles in like 20 years.
Yeah.
They picked Pringles because it's the most feminine product because it very
The shape.
The shape of it simulates a maxi pad. And Paul Feig said that's a product for women. That's a chip for women.
So Mike, would you recommend Ghostbusters?
Well, Jay and Rich, I would say stay far away from this film. It's not funny, which is its biggest detriment. You'd think everyone was touting the comedic talents of Kate McKinnon, Kristen Wiig, Leslie Jones, and Melissa McCarthy, but when put in this theatrical disaster, are horribly unfunny. It's juvenile, it's tasteless, it's dumb, it's forced, it's disgusting, and most of all, it's pathetic and desperate.
And that's, you say feel bad. I would say you should not feel bad for not liking this movie, for not wanting to see this movie. You have nothing to feel bad about. It's a shitty comedy.
Give it 4 months, and Ghostbusters will now only refer to the 1984 Ghostbusters, and you're not going to have to distinguish it.
I would agree with you if it wasn't for all the controversy. That's the only thing separating, and that's the thing too, is like months and months of people arguing online, back and forth about this movie, was all in service of a completely forgettable, bland remake. Congratulations, Internet. You wasted your time.
Is this a remake of the old Ghostbusters with the monkey in it?
It took you this long to get there?
Ghostbusters. Good riddance,
Well, guys, I think we should get back to work. How about some sandwiches? You buy, I'll fly.
Yeah, fly off a bridge, hopefully.
That's a fucking great one.
Sure, why not? I'm immortal, assholes. Fuck, I can't wait to outlive you guys so I can take over this business. You know, according to this magazine, the VCR industry is about to boom, baby!
Rich, that magazine's from 1982.
What? Oh.
Who's the idiot now?
Yeah.
Hey Jay, you know what I hated most about the new Ghostbusters movie? It's the fact that they were all women.